Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is me painting some lemons. Pretty straightforward, right? I'm going to be using my Da Vinci palette today. I'm not sure if we can, there we go, we can see it. I want to test it out and see how it works, so I'm going to head and paint these lemons that I sketched out. That's just a little branch. It's kind of hard to see. I've erased some of the graphite, but we'll go ahead and try and show you kind of what's going on there. I think I have everything ready to go. I have my 2 cups of water. Always paint with 2 cups of water if you can. One for clean water for applying to your painting, and one for dirty for cleaning off paint and pigment. But let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Today I'm going to be using my silver black velvets. I have brought over from my other desk 4 of them in rounds in size 2, 4, 6, and 8. These are my go-to brushes, so I wanted to keep everything kind of concise when testing a new palette. I didn't want to try a new brush or anything like that in it. Plus, don't mess with what's good. Alright, I have my reference photo over here on my laptop that I can see, and I think I'm ready to begin. I'm not sure if I want to start on the branches or if I want to start on the, I think I'm going to start on the branches, so we're going to use a nice little tiny brush, number 2 round. Alright, so here you can see me mixing up some brown for the branches. I'm using Burnt Umber or PBR7, and I'm just going in lightly with a first wash of color over the whole branch. First impressions on the paint, these were completely dry, and instead of doing my usual thing where I spray the palette with a spray bottle to re-wet it, I wanted to re-wet it more traditionally with water on my brush, just to kind of give it a good test. And I have to say that their paints re-wet beautifully. It's a dream. Another thing I noticed really quickly right there at the split of the branches is that the paints flow so nicely into each other. It's a gentle flow. It's nothing like, say, a core watercolor. Then again, what is like core? They are a bit unique, but we're not talking about core today. Here I am going in with more deeper brown mix, and just really getting that branch to have some definition. Even though it's very thin, it's still very nice to have that darker color, and we're using neutral tint there to help darken it up a little bit. It takes a lot longer to do the branches than I thought. In fact, this piece took way longer than I thought it was going to for such a simple subject of a few lemons on a branch. It ended up actually killing my battery, which we'll get to that eventually. But for here, we can see me mixing up greens for the leaves. I'm using combinations of phthalo greens, both the yellow shade and the blue shade. I'm mixing in some yellow ochre, some PY3 Hansa yellow lights, and also a big batch, big brush full of Denise's green, which I found to be lovely, even though Denise's green is a mix of PY129 and P60. Mixing it with all those other colors didn't leave it muddied. That speaks volumes to the paint and the quality that they have there, that the greens never looked muddied even though I was mixing a lot of colors there. Now I should have probably started at a different spot, doing bigger leaves first to kind of get a better feel for it, but I started at the bottom doing little leaves, but thankfully I work in an arc up and around, so it's not so bad. And for each leaf, I'm starting with the lightest green, really washed out with a lot of water to keep it light, and then I mix in darker pigment to try and get the shadows and the effect of the leaf. Like particularly in this leaf, it's bent, so you see the underside, that dark portion, and then the lighter part is being hit by the light. So that darker green flowed nicely into the other lighter green shades, and it's just, I cannot get over how nice they flowed. I love when watercolors just flow very nicely into each other, and it's like you don't good. Too much, you don't get too little. It's just that nice middle ground of beautiful flow. Now, the other thing I noticed really quickly is even when these paints began to dry, they re-wet beautifully on the paper, I mean. I already talked about how nice they re-wet in the pan, but on the paper they reactivate a little bit if you want them to, if you have enough water and you dedicate to working towards them. If not, adding more color on top of already dried color is not hard at all, and it blends very nicely. If you get like an edge that's dark up against the light edge, and the light edge is already dried, and you add more water and try to smooth out the gradient between the two, even though the one is dried, still beautiful. Love it. That said, the colors are very bright, bold, richly pigmented. You can really tell they put a lot of effort into these formulations and didn't skimp on anything and add too much extra filler than they needed to. So these are definitely a high quality and affordable paint. I can't believe that. Like, usually you have to kind of choose between high quality and costs a lot, or lower quality and costs less. In the case of Da Vinci here, you kind of don't have to choose unless you're not local to the United States. I don't know how that works yet with international shipping. I don't think they offer anything special for that yet, but one of the things notorious about them has been their lack of cheap international shipping. So, yay. Yay for me being in Texas, I guess. I picked these up during Black Friday sale, and I highly recommend, if you can grab them during a sale, go ahead and grab them during the sale, because you'll save even more money, especially if you're having to pony up for that shipping far away. Funny enough, I'm still getting used to my new camera setup, and I have to say the lighting is really great. It really shows off that bright color there. You can really see what I'm doing clearly, and it's lovely. But I've still not gotten used to the fact that the camera battery dies. I did good this time. I tried to keep my eye on it and be like, okay, I gotta pay attention for this. So I only lose a few seconds of footage, and then not having a second battery really hurt me. So I actually ended up having to go to the next day. But that ended up working in my favor, I think, because it let me rest my eyes. It let me let the green dry on the paper since it's resting right up against the lemons, and it really kind of just kept things concise without any bleed over, which I was a little concerned, honestly, that it was going to do that. So, you'll notice a little probably change in the light right about here. Yep, yeah, there we go. You can see it. It's a different day. It's Wednesday morning instead of Tuesday morning, and I'm excited for the lemons. I was so excited this morning for the lemons. So I just mixed up some pure PY3 to start, get the base color down on the lemons, and you can see how it's butted up right against that green, and no worry about bleed over now that it's dry. So it definitely worked in my favor. I warm up some of the edges though with PY65 Hansa Yellow Deep. My two favorite yellows, they play so nice together, and I muted it down with some PY3 Hansa Yellow Light, just so it wouldn't be too quote-unquote orangey leaning, red leaning, and it ends up just adding a nice deep color to the lemons, and there's 3 of them, as you will soon see. There's the one right there, and then there's one to the right, so I ended up working on them in the right order, thankfully. I was going to start at the top lemon, and what a nightmare that would have been. But thankfully I do it the right way, and even though these 2 lemons are technically touching each other, I was able to control the bleed over very nicely, and it helped that the colors were similar in those 2 areas. What I struggled with is adding the shadow underneath that second middle lemon there. I wanted to have the shadow from the lemon on top of it to the upper right, and I ended up mixing a little brown yellow mixture, and I kind of got it. I should have probably left it right where it is right now, but I kind of overworked it a little bit, but hindsight is a wonderful thing, isn't it? But really, overall, this was a blast. I had fun getting to sit down and paint again. It's been a while exploring a new watercolor brand was fun. And all in all, I just had a fantastic time, and I really cannot wait to get more Da Vinci colors in the future. Hopefully, I can catch another sale from them soon sometime and add more colors to this palette, because you can definitely see I've got the room for it, and there's new colors out that I'm excited to see. Denise's Gray and Stormy Blue, I think, are the two she has, and I can't wait to try them. So hopefully, I can snag them on a sale soon. But I'll just let you guys finish up here. We're almost done. And then past me, we'll walk you through the outro. But just go ahead and watch it up, enjoy, and again, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, guys. It means a lot to me that you guys stick around and watch my videos and honestly just have a good time with me. It just makes it even better, really. I would do art regardless, but really it just makes it better. And there's a close-up. I hope you guys enjoyed that painting. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, consider subscribing to the channel. And if you want to see, especially if you want to see more paintings like this, really love the Da Vinci paints. I'll talk more about that in depth over the course of the video, which you'll already have heard, but YouTube magic, right? And I guess that about wraps things up. So take care, have a good one, and bye for now.